these boys and girls, we can still retrieve them. We can still make life worthwhile for them. We can still regard them, I regard them as my children.
There's an area boy in all of us. It just really determines the way you view it. It's whether we change the narrative or whether we don't change the narrative. Everybody views area boy. Just that mention of area boy represents intimidation, represents violence.
Everywhere or anywhere I met them, I was always open to them. Because I saw myself in them, that would have been me. If I was driving on park, anywhere I saw them, even some of them were, seriously on drugs. A lot of them are dead now. But I was still their brother. Even till now, anytime I saw them, a lot of them, maybe through one misbehavior or the other, ran away from home. Many of them you find in Lagos now. Predominantly, they are from southwestern parts of Nigeria. Like they say, Sanwo-Olu, for those that understand Yoruba, meaning that states that are, the upper part of Lagos, if you look at the map of southwest Nigeria, Osun, Oyo, and Co.
Every morning when I drive my boy to school, I see some of these guys around. And I tell my boy, the difference between you and these guys is the fact that you have a loving mother, you have the support of your mother, and you are loved. During my interaction with them, I realized that they feel, one, God has forgotten them. Two, the parents have let them down. Three, society has let them down. Of course, government has let them down. I realized that they want to be somebody. They have dreams. They have aspirations. Just like the one that said he wants to be like Professor Shoyinka. I know if he has the opportunity to go to school, he will probably excel.
I was waiting to play my set one day when one of them just came. Wow, leader very. Meanwhile, money to go to Abule Oja to buy cooking materials, everything was in my pocket. So it was the nylon bag I was holding that made them know that Bololele. So as the guy said, leader very. 2 plus 2 became 22 in my head. Because the moment you get to that den, Otilo. So I just looked at the guy. Then he said, change voice, leader. So leader one man. So we won't go. Then you can watch Jesus for master B. Yoruba people say, it is what you call upon yourself that becomes you. So we don't call them area boys and area girls anymore. We call them good boys and good girls. So that gradually it can be ingrained in them to become what they are being called.
It's under prevention. You talk of strengthening families because we've talked a lot here about parenting, and the truth is that most of these problems actually start from the home. So these are the interventions NLA has at that level. So we work together because there has to be a balance between the supply and the demand. If the demand is not there, supply will not sell. If demand is there, then supply will thrive. So we work based on the two balanced approaches. That is what we do.
Olamuyiwa, Africa's #1 female drummer, global phenomenon, and now philanthropist. Until a man finds his purpose, he will continue to wander in the wilderness of life. Ara has found her purpose, and together we shall journey with her to make sure she fulfills this journey. It is our collective duty. For that, I'd like to thank everyone who found the time to be here with us. Permit me to quickly recognize the presence of Chief Olumide Ilumo Oniru, the Olokmo of Iru Kingdom, representing our Kabiyesi Oba Abdulwasiu Omogbolahan Lawal. On behalf of all of us, I say Kabiyesi. Thank you so much for honoring this invitation. From the NDLEA, we have some of our top bosses here. Mrs. Rita Ke is also here. Please your hands together for her. Mrs. Ibiba Odili is here with us. Please your hands together for her. And then representing the RS Commander, Lagos State, that's Commander Yinka Ekpeyemi. We have with us ASP Fadele here with us. Please your hands together for him. Your hands together for him. Thank you so much. Of course, one of the new kids on the block, one of the hottest new brains from the Big Brother Nigeria House. Ladies and gentlemen, Joe is with us. Please your hands together for Joe, ladies and gentlemen. Celebrate Joe. We also have from Bet Nigeria our sponsor, Mr. Kiki Boboye. Please your hands together for Mr. Boboye. Miss, okay, sorry, I apologize. Miss Kiki Boboye. From Quadrant Art Agency, we have Mr. Olurati Adeni. Or is it Miss? Okay. We have Olurati Adeni. Please your hands together for her. Thank you so much for coming. Thank you all so much. Yes, I said one of the boys told her, I want to be like Wole Soyinka because I like the way he speaks. I like the way he carries himself. I used to like Wole Soyinka too. Until Koboko flogged me one day. The Koboko that Wole Soyinka flogged me, it was Patience Jonathan that helped me to retaliate years later. Have you met Wole Soyinka before? The lion sits in such a way that without opening his mouth, he's roaring. That's the candor around Soyinka. He has this air, very imposing, very, as in, it will swallow you if you're not confident enough. Once you meet Wole Soyinka, you don't know what to say. You are careful what to say. Because once you talk and it is wrong, correction that will finish your life. So you are watchful. Now the funny thing is, if you say it in English and you are wrong, if you say it in Yoruba and you are wrong, he has answer to everything. Wole Soyinka na encyclopedia. So at a function like this, years ago, I was MC. Wole Soyinka finished speaking. And do you know that the microphone took the spirit of Wole Soyinka? As in, immediately I connected the mic, I couldn't believe what was coming out of my mouth. And in course manipulation, the talent, a jealous attentionism. I know one thing, once you speak grammar, Nigerians don't understand. They will appreciate you. That's what people clap. As people clap, now enter gear 2. Because response to the opportunity, plurality, suggests astronomical and essential celebrity, which survived an Italian ragamuffin. Even I who spoke, all I heard was ragamuffin. By the time I raised my neck, the whole place was empty. Only one guy was standing at the back looking at me. I said, God bless you. So at least you stay to listen to me so I can calm down. I'm the sound engineer. I'm waiting for my microphone. So you can imagine years later when Wole Soyinka and Patience Jonathan entered Scoffle. Baba just they dish out, they throw lamba. And you know Patience Jonathan, she no get wahala. Her power is to a certain level. She no dey do pass herself. But at the end of that battle, she became the first ever person in the history of English language and English literature to defeat Wole Soyinka without using English language. You know, Wole Soyinka was dishing. After a while, journalists went to meet her and said, Mama P, you must not take this. How can Wole Soyinka be writing paragraph upon paragraph? Even if it is one sentence, give it back. She just looked. And that was the end. Soyinka cannot talk again. So when they said good luck was coming back, I was like, see these people. Whoa, if this woman come back, we'll go here. As in, I already have a speech in my head. The moment they come back, the first thing is, now well, when we get here, and I say we not try, and I pursue us come out. Now I can't say that we come back. This one when we come back, when I go here, all right, ladies and gentlemen, we're about to go into our session. My name is Koffi Ayinde. It's an honor being the anchor person, but I am not the moderator for that panel session, so I'm going to call up our participants. I'm going to call our participants after this very short video piece on the screen. Let's just go to the video. And please handle your items with care. Please, I beg. If somebody has lost their if this is your driver's license, you don't even need it. Police supposed to arrest you saying that this is your driver's license. So let's see the video, then we'll come to the session. Thank you.
It's a reality TV show that's going to be picking, non-stakeholder youths, I like to call them.
You got me correct, you got down pass on street is a lot. Monsieur!
What do you mean? Because to say this pussy, but for opportunity.
Eko Inspire Me is, I think right now they are here to help us, to give us an opportunity to be someone in life. We will be really happy and we really appreciate if the government can support them, for them to support us.
Dear Lagosians, Lagos is our center of excellence. You and I as Lagosians need to reflect this excellence in all that we say and do going forward. As your governor, it is my duty to ensure that Lagos works not only for you, not only for me, but works for everybody as law-abiding residents.
My name is Obasanjo. We are on street. And what you got me correct, you got down pass on street is a lot.
Hi everyone, my name is Aralola Olamuyiwa. You know me as Ara, pioneer female talking drama of international repute.
Mo fẹ́ kọ́wọn ìjọba ṣe fún wa àti nǹkan tó ń jẹ́ kí street kó máa pọ̀ sí i. Ọ̀wọ́n ìjọba gan ó jẹ́ number 1. Ọ̀tún síbẹ̀ ò bọ̀ ọ̀wọ́n náà ní number 1. Torí wípé ká ní wípé àwọn ìjọba ló ti wà tẹ́lẹ̀ ó ṣe dáadáa ni. Ìṣẹ́ àtàìsòwò ó ní pé ọwọ́ tó wá dilẹ̀ èṣù máa ń yá ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ ọwọ́ bẹ́ẹ̀ lò.
Eko Inspire Me is a reality TV show that's going to be picking, non-stakeholder youths, I like to call them, off the streets of Lagos from the different flashpoints, Ajegunle, Oshodi, Mushin, Agege,
Ojuelegba, Ikorodu, Lagos Island, etc.
What I no get any me, if you saw my energy, and my need you. I'm a look good and shit. What I no get any me, and if you saw my energy, what's your lady? A pipe for no shit. I like you are nobody. What the Buhari you are nobody. Mommy.
In the first place, I want to bless somebody who came up with this type of plan. This is what they call wow.
Eko Inspire Me.
ó ṣe pé gbọmọ ta ló lè because èmi tí mo sọ yìí mo ti wà tán sí more than 12 years and mo ti rí so many things mo ti gbọ́ so many things àìmọye àlá ló ti lá àìmọye àlá láti lá àìmọye èjì ló ti jà but Ọlọ́run ṣe kí ni ó gbọ́ ayọ̀.
Like this fervently and presently we are here in Boston. I can't see but I'm hustling to survive. But in terms of job, I learned how to do decoration, sewing, all this senator level, I know how to sew it.
Táwọn ọmọ orúkọ bá rí nǹkan jẹ successful, kò ní sólè, kò ní sí ẹ̀yà àwọn ọmọ mi ní sí ẹwọlé, ọmọ wèrè kan lélẹ̀, ọmọ wèrè kan lélẹ̀, àwọn kan lélẹ̀ náà máa nù. Bọ́tú ọ̀tà náà tà o. Ṣé ló yẹ kí wọ́n máa ta bọ́tú ọ̀tà náà nù? Ẹ sọ̀rọ̀ náà, ẹ gbé mi fún náà.
Go wà nínú àwọn ọmọ tàyí but development àtẹ́n tó máa ràn wọ́n lọ́wọ́ ni kò sí. Ó yá ọmọ tó yẹ pé ìgbà tí kò sí olùrànlọ́wọ́ mọ́ bóyá ẹbí ẹ̀ ló máa treat ẹ̀ ìyá ti kú àgbàbà ti kú ó dẹ̀ pé òun ò lọ option àti kóun sá kúrò ní ilé lọ ìgbà tó sá kúrò nílé tó dé street nǹkan tó bá rí tán ṣe ń bẹ̀ ló máa fi máa bá wọn ṣe because kò tí ì ní power láti ṣe ìtì ẹ̀ and ẹni tí Ọlọ́run bá ràn lọ́wọ́ ló máa pàdé ẹni gidi ní ìta láti bẹ̀rẹ̀ ẹlòmíì bẹ́ẹ̀ ẹni tí ò fagbó ni wọ́n kọ́ wọ́n ń fagbó but ẹni tó kọ́ bọ́yẹn fagbó yẹn sì like 2 months tó ti diabetes fóun náà ó ti ń fà and there is a seed special seed in him tó yẹ pé ó fẹ́ germinate but based on àwọn tó wà pẹ̀lú but you that you wise tó yẹ pé ẹ̀yin ẹ yàtọ̀ sí wọn on a successful road yàtọ̀ sáwọn tó wà ní street ẹ̀yin lè máa wò pé ẹ ká tiẹ̀ súnmọ́ àwọn guys yìí ká fi spain wọn.
people that they have education now there is no job and they have the idea but you are seeing them all about doing nothing. If they see the opportunity, they can go into it. From there, they can start their life. Do you understand me? I believe it's a good idea.
Eko Inspire Me. Eko Inspire Me. Eko Inspire Me.
Eko Inspire Me.
That area boys we see so. Some of them are talented. Just because of the ignorant they are on the streets, no opportunity to give them. Give that area boys chance. Nigeria will become a something, and there will be no Agbo on the road street.
Eko Inspire Me. Oh my God.
Eko for sure.
Eko Inspire Me. In short, I love you.
Eko Inspire Me, Oshe.
Eko Inspire Me.
Mo really dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ program tẹ́ gbé wá fún wa yìí torí a lot of things ló ń ṣẹlẹ̀ nínú street tó yẹ pé ó jẹ́ kí most of ẹlòmíì máa jalè ẹlòmíì ṣe rapists but tíru program báyìí bá wọlé ó tún at least ó máa help situation Nigeria especially our youth torí most of irú program báyìí I believe pé irú program báyìí àwọn ọmọ olówó nìkan ló máa assist but boy gbé wá sínú street pé káwa náà ká perform we really appreciate so God bless you our governor Sanwo-Olu we really appreciate for your support so ẹ ṣé gan.
Báyọ̀ bọ̀ wọ́n náà tàwọn street gbogbo wọn náà la need help àbí èmi sì tí mo kọ́jẹ́ tí mi ò tún wá padà síṣẹ́ ní sí owó náà ló ń dá mi dúró tí mo fi padà síṣẹ́ ní ohun èmi náà kémi náà fọ́dà mọ́ ó tún wù mí pé kí tó ṣe lọ sí school sí but kò sí opportunity torí pé mo lẹ́ni tó tún lè ràn mí jù mọ́ mi sí mi náà lọ kò dẹ̀ níṣẹ́ kankan tó lè fi ràn mí lọ kí ìjọba náà wá kọ́ ẹ̀pọ̀ wa.
Sanwo-Olu a nílò ìrànlọ́wọ́ yín o ẹ bá wa ẹ fọwọ́ sí kinní yìí o ẹ bá wa gbé orílẹ̀-èdè wa náà lárugẹ o àádẹ́mọ́re o.
tó bá ṣe street no make sense. mo mọ bí wọ́n ṣe ń sọ ewu mo dẹ̀ mọ bọ́ yẹn ń ṣe ẹ̀fẹ̀ mo tún mọ bọ́ yẹn ń ṣe orí ìtàgé gbogbo eléyìí tí wọn bá súnmọ́ wa wọn lè mọ̀ Ọlọ́run jẹ́ ká kú tògótògó torí ẹ̀.
tí ìjọba tó bá lè try kó lọ sí street. Unemployment is one of the difficult, I can even say is the most difficult problem that I used to see, that I face.
Tí wọ́n á rí ọmọ làkejì mi yẹ pé àjọ wà ń street ni tó wá fẹsẹ̀ rìn lọ tó mi ń sapá tí mo dẹ̀ mọ̀ pé ibi tó ń lọ sí gan ó lọ fà. Èmi máa ṣe kí ni? Èmi máa tẹ̀ ọ́n slow. Màá ní ìyá ọmọ ìyá mi ìyàwó náà ṣe kí ni? Ìyàwó náà gapá. Má fẹsẹ̀ rìn lọ fà mọ́.
Gapá nù wèrè yẹn.
Fọ̀n díẹ̀ máa gbé lọ, èmi gan máa gbé lọ fà. Láti ibẹ̀ lọ tó bá serious, wọ́n gan máa ṣe kí ni wọ́n máa gbéra sókè láti ibẹ̀. Tó nǹkan bá sún lọ lọ́jọ́ mi ó tún máa ránṣẹ́ ọmọ wèrè kan ló ránṣẹ́ ọmọ wèrè kan jẹ́ kí èmi náà ránṣẹ́ wèrè kan bí kan.
Everywhere legit, everywhere mama. Mo. Mo ti gbà. Mọ́sẹ̀.
Because àríṣẹ́ yìí pé àwọn ọmọ olówó àwọn ọmọ ọlọ́lá ọ́bìlì ń pé àwọn nìkan làwọn lè wà àwọn post báyìí but tí kìíní bá wà ní street everybody ó máa wà níbọ̀ wọ́n á kó àwọn jọ wọ́n á wà pẹ̀lú ẹ̀ everybody máa wà happy.
A dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ Ọlọ́run bá lọ́wọ́ sista wa Ara entertainment látọ̀rẹ́ dúpẹ́ ni pé so many people outside there tó yẹ pé ẹlòmíì níṣẹ́ lọ́wọ́ gan but oríṣiríṣi kan ti gbà nǹkan lọ́wọ́ wọn for example ẹ máa wọ ẹlòmíì London bridge tẹ pé ó ní nǹkan tó yẹ pé ó ní a lot of talent tó lè fi jẹun but torí pé ẹlòmíì wà kó òun lọ sí school òun ò ṣe anything so láti move forward so a lot of things bẹ́ẹ̀ so ẹlòmíì ẹ bá wọ ẹwọ gbọ́ àwọn obìnrin wa tó wà London bridge ń bẹ̀ yẹn ẹ wọ àwọn ọkùnrin wa everybody wọn kàn wọ́n useless so which means tẹ́bá dẹ̀ wo bẹ̀ èyí tó pọ̀ jù nínú wọn ní enough of experience tó lè achieve tó wọ́n lè share fún one or two person so I really appreciate because ẹ wo Lagos State lé ní báyìí sìn the Lagos State in lolly by say gbogbo state Lagos is the best be obvious but I'm happy that I'm living in Lagos. Lagos is my success. So thank you so much. Our governor Babatunde Abajide Sanwo-Olu, thank you so much. I really appreciate you. But fún sister wa Ara Ọlọ́run, God bless you. Because tí ẹ bá support wọn náà báwọn náà máa lọ nípa àwọn fẹ́ help àwọn others. So thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
Owó ṣí ó dá má fi kan mú bàbá. Mo ní ṣe ọwọ́ wẹ́dà mo ṣe o. Mo ní ṣe ọwọ́ báyìí wẹ́dà mo ṣe.
Waka behave to speak too much for òyìnbó. Owó mu wá wá sí Èkó mi ò wá ta bíríìjì ní Èkó.
Ó bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí ní gàpá àbíbáwò ẹ̀fẹ̀sẹ̀ rìn lọ fà.
Mo tún mi sàpá.
Well, reality show can actually help in the sense that we have people with a lot of potentials whereby they are looking for ways to showcase it. And I believe with this Eko Inspire Me, it's a medium to encourage some people and to encourage them to showcase their talent if they are opportune to know it. You understand? So my own advice is that Eko Inspire Me should try to bring it out to people, not for those that are on top, but youths that have a lot of potential. Because somehow if you walk down on the street, you find some youth, a graduate, whereby you don't know. Standing before you don't even I'm a graduate. So these are I would only advise that try and take this program to a lot of youths outside there, even bike riders. A lot of them have potential which they can explore. So please, I'm encouraged with something like this, and it's something I wish I can make use of if I'm opportunity to get to know it better. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We appreciate your comments.
Ọmọ tó kó fún èdè ọmọdé police station láti police station ó dọ́gba nígbà tó dọ́gba tán ẹsẹ̀kẹsẹ̀ rédíò lọ́ mú fún o àwọn tó lọ bá lọ́hùn àwọn tó ń gbébọn kidnappers oríṣiríṣi ọ̀pọ̀ ń bẹ ó wáyà sìn àwọn yẹn ló máa wà pẹ̀lú for how many months wọ́n máa push along lọ́wọ́ máa wà pẹ̀lú ẹ̀ ṣé irú expire ọ ti máa inspire lives àìmọye ẹ̀kọ́ tó ti máa fi sí lọ́kàn òun gan tó jẹ́ pé ó yà ẹ̀kọ́ tí kò mọ̀ ń pa ẹ̀ ni tó bá jáde tán a rò pé ya kí n kú ṣèkọ́ tí mo mọ̀ ń pa ẹ̀ most of àwọn difficulty àti most of àwọn nǹkan tó ọmọ youth sí tó ń face ta nìyẹn.
ṣé tó bá ṣe orúkọ báyìí fún wa tẹnu tẹmí bá dùn sí inú ẹni tó wà lẹ́gbẹ̀ẹ́ mi ò lè máa dùn sí o ṣe mọ bẹ́ẹ̀ akọjọ
fún mi ṣẹnu díẹ̀ tún díẹ̀
bá ẹni tẹmí dùn sí èmi omi ní mímì iná
ọ̀tá iná jẹ́ tẹ́lẹ̀ mi.
tó bá ti fẹ́ bá mi jà máa ké pa anybody máa ké pa ẹni. inú mi tó bá ti gbọ́.
bọ́sẹ̀ wọ ní talent.
azal.
irú ẹ̀bùn wo ló ní.
ẹ̀bùn mi jà pa.
oya fún mi ní number one ẹ̀bùn tó ní kí ni number one ẹ̀bùn ṣé orin ni ṣé jó ni.
ẹ̀mí ọmọ ìlú ẹ̀dọ́ ọmọ rẹ̀ bọ́ ọmọ ní memory card pages ká gbẹ̀kọ̀ àti kọ́bà ẹ̀ka sọ́dọ̀.
it nìyẹn o.
ẹ ṣàmọ̀ ká mú orin àti papọ̀ ká tó papọ̀.
ara nǹkan tá à ń sọ náà ni skills. skills nìyẹn náà skills nìyẹn.
mo máa nílé iṣẹ́ generator tọ́tí ẹ ṣàmọ̀ generator engineering yẹn mi.
ó nìyẹn ó gbà yìí.
sọ̀nà generator tested okay.
ó ti lọ fún mi ó ti lọ.
ẹ jẹ́ àti mọ̀ ẹni tí ń bá ń bẹ̀.
ọwọ́ sí gbogbo nǹkan tẹ́lẹ̀ ṣe ó dùn mọ́ mi nínú.
ẹ ṣe gan thank you so much.
ọlọ́run fún iṣẹ́.
ẹ ṣe gan àmín bàbá mi
èmi àwọn tó ṣe pọ̀ pẹ̀lú olúwa yọ àwọn jẹ́ pọ̀ lọ́mọ ilé ẹ̀dùn sí.
àlàyé
kọ́tọ́ fẹ́ ṣe náà ó dà bẹ́ẹ̀ pé wọn nílé máa fojú ọmọ ta wà
bẹ́ẹ̀ni náà
a lè dúpẹ́ pé wọ́n tẹ̀ jẹ́ kí àwọn ìjọba fọwọ́sowọ́pọ̀ pẹ̀lú àti wàrà ọlọ́run á dẹ̀ máa fún wọn ṣe.
ṣe bá a dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ gọ́ọ̀nà Babájídé Sanwó-Olú.
Babájídé Sanwó-Olú a dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ yín ìlọsíwájú fún yín àtàwọn ọmọ yín àtàwa náà ẹ ní wálé àwa náà ní wálé ẹṣẹ wọn ti wà yọ lọ́wọ́ àwọn tẹ ẹni náà sí dáadáa ẹ bá a ṣe kó dáa á dẹ̀ dára gbà.
We are telling the government that this organization is a very good organization that make us feel joy, that make us have joy. Eko Inspire Me. Please, we are begging you, the government, Babájídé Sanwó-Olú, just support this team so that we have changing of environment. We have good society. So that when people are coming from night around 10, 12, they will not be afraid because everybody are on their own goal. Because when you are on your own goal, you never look to another one's zone. That is why, because I really enjoy this organization, and I pray that the organization will continue to grow more and more, so that Nigeria, arrogance, militants, they will reduce more and more. Thank you, Babájídé.
àwọn ọ̀pọ̀ bọ́ìsì kan wà nígboro ni kò síṣẹ́ kò sí kankan bẹ̀t nínú èyí tí mo rí yìí à gbogbo ara báyìí nínú àwa obìnrin inú wa dùn sí. gọ́vnà wa Babájídé Sanwó-Olú a dúpẹ́ lọ́pọ̀lọpọ̀ ẹ máa rí ṣe o tìyín náà dá o gbogbo nǹkan tẹ́ bá dáwọ́lé nínú Nàìjíríà yìí a máa yọrí sí rere ẹ máa rí ṣe ẹ máa lọre ẹ máa bọ̀re.
But one thing is that let them take action. Our boys, they are just roaming about. Those people that even pass out, they don't have job. They don't find anything to do to survive. They unless that by the grace of God. I would be happy if I thought they can take action.
Most of them èèyàn wà láàrin wa tó yẹ pé ó ń ronú orí wọn, ó ń wá opportunity ni. Opportunity yẹn lọ́rọ̀ náà lé pé kémi náà tẹ́lẹ̀ opportunity báyìí tí mo ti gbá mú báyìí. Èmi gan mo kúrò street nìyẹn. Ṣùgbọ́n àìsí opportunity àìsí ọkàn màá ṣáà jẹun màá dẹ̀ leave. Àwọn ẹgbẹ́ mi wò ṣe fine boy, àwọn ẹgbẹ́ mi náà nífẹ̀ẹ́ máa rùn pa láàrin everybody. Torí ẹ̀ la ṣe máa wà. Àwọn tó ń ta pure water wà, àwọn tó ń ṣe everything wà, àwọn tó ń ṣe conductor wà. But tí ìjọba bá lè provide iṣẹ́ tí everybody níṣẹ́ lọ́wọ́, I think that one is very important. Mi ò sọ pé bóyá àwọn older people, youth in compulsory, because we are the leader of this, we are the future leader of this Nigeria. No matter what, tó bá dé táwa tí wàá dé padà yẹn làánà máa máa wọ̀ wọn tó wà lẹ̀ tó máa wà tó wà lẹ́yìn wa pé báwo la tún ṣe fẹ́ ṣe torí ọjọ́ ọ̀la nìyẹn àwa jẹ́ fún wọn báyìí báwa náà ṣe máa jẹ́jọ́ ọ̀la fún wọn kan.
dídùn sí ètò tán gbé kalẹ̀ tán fẹ́ ṣe yìí mo dẹ̀ dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ gómìnà wa bàbá Jídé ipò ń ṣiṣẹ́ rabaraba lọ́wọ́n máa fún iṣẹ́ ẹ̀mí àgùn alálàáfíà á jẹun ọmọ kalẹ̀ o á dà fún gbogbo ìlú Nàìjíríà tòrò ìlú Nàìjíríà ò ní korò kò ní lè mọ́ gbogbo wa o ayọ̀ wa kún nílùú Nàìjíríà ṣe púpọ̀ aṣọ́pọ̀dún lọ́wọ́n á fún iṣẹ́.
àmì ẹ ṣe gan ma.
inú mi dùn sí lọ́pọ̀lọpọ̀ 80% ìṣọ́rasì nínú mi fi dùn sí because tí nǹkan bàbá yẹn ń wáyé àníró ọmọkọ́mọ lójú títì ìrànlọ́wọ́ tọ́lọ́ ń fún ẹ̀yin tí orí yín bá pọ̀ láàrin ìlú à ń fún ọmọ ládàá à ń fún bọn kọ́lọ́ máa ṣe tọ́ọ̀gì káàkiri kò ní wáyé because ọwọ́ tó bá dilẹ̀ iná lẹ́sù máa ń bẹ̀ ń sẹ́ so inú mi dùn sí lọ́pọ̀lọpọ̀ tó adúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ gómìnà wa ọlọ́run tó fún lágbára ilé ó tún máa ṣe àlékún agbára so àlàáfíà wa ọlọ́run tó yẹ kó péye o.
torí gbogbo nǹkan tó wà ń ta ń sìn kọ́ ọlọ́run kó ṣàánú nínú wọn dẹ̀ máa dùn tó ti gbogbo ọmọ tẹ bá ṣe fún náà ṣẹ̀dá wọn ràn á pray fún yín wá ṣe àdúrà fún yín pé ẹ ṣe ń pẹ́ ràn wọ́n lọ́wọ́ èmi náà inú mi dùn sí tẹ bá lè ṣe bẹ́ẹ̀ fún wọn kò sí wàhálà so òun ni o.
ẹ ṣe gan.
inú wa dùn sí ọlọ́run á dẹ̀ ràn yín lọ́wọ́ ọlọ́run á máa fún yín ìfẹ́ lágbára lọ.
Eko Inspire Me. One more time. Eko Inspire Me.
You know what? This government, I will really appreciate if the government can help this Eko Inspire Me. Yeah, Eko Inspire Me, because even as the government doesn't even look at where we are. Eko Inspire Me is, I think right now they are here to help us, to give us an opportunity to be someone in life. We will be really happy and we really appreciate if the government can support them, for them to support us, because I don't think this government can reach all of us, because all of us we are just here, but they are here in particular to help us. Even you can't reach us, they are here to deliver the message to us. So I really appreciate if the government can even support them, for them to be able to have enough things to support us too. So I really appreciate this Eko Inspire Me. Baba Jide Sanwo-Olu, abeg, if you can help them, they will help us. I have the assurance in them, even said. I have the assurance because with enough I've seen and with enough I've received, with enough opportunity I've get, I know they can help us. So please help them.
Dear Lagosians, Lagos is our center of excellence. You and I as Lagosians need to reflect this excellence in all that we say and do going forward. As your governor, it is my duty to ensure that Lagos works not only for you, not only for me, but works for everybody as law-abiding residents.
These boys and girls, we can still retrieve them. We can still make life worthwhile for them. We can still regard them, I regard them as my children.
Come up here and applaud Ara and say, Mama for the boys. But with what I have seen, if you notice that the camera was shaky a lot, you can imagine the men holding camera shaking in the places they went to. Talk less of the woman that led them, woman. They were pissing in their pants. They didn't show you everything, no. Inside their bed, they didn't show you. If you go to those places, you must be a lion to go and come out. You are not mama. Now man will do it to you. You are baba for the boys. Just as we were wrapping that up, the Commissioner for Information Lagos State just came in. Please help me welcome Mr. Benga Motosho with a round of applause. Thank you, sir, for coming. I grew up in Baringa. As I talk, one of those boys just go, Ebute Ilaje Bariga, then Olokodano in Abule side of Bariga, Temple, all that axis to Idiaba, now I grew up. Then I spent most of my other life in Folago, Sanwo-Olu, right behind the market. So in 2010, boys came to the house. They came to the house, laid everybody down, and they were robbing us. One of them said, Shinolili. Their leader said, Arara, hey, Shinolili. They know every one of us. They know you. The guy came against this guy in the street, and I don't know if you do anything to him. Koffi Ayinde, nah, say, Baba, don't worry, nothing will happen here. We'll be your fans. I said, yeah. We'll be waiting. We'll be your fans. We'll be your fans, don't worry. Nothing. Now your wife is this. Nobody will touch her. Oh yeah, enter your office. They just locked me and my wife in my office. All this while, I didn't know that my security guy from downstairs, they had already put him in my office there. Flat naked. By the time they told me to go another day, my head was using his bum as pillow. Second time on Folago Road, I was robbed again. Third time, I woke up one morning, they had removed my brain box from my car. And I just looked at, this is me, one individual, 3 experiences. So sooner or later, all the small boys that they are grooming, as they get larger and we increase in volume, it is going to come around to every one of us. And then 10 years later, it blew up. It blew up. Do you know that once area boys have quarrel in Orile, they pray that the quarrel will enter all the way to Bode Thomas so that they can go and loot the shops of Bode Thomas. In fact, area boys were quarreling one day in Orile. They don't charter bus, they come island. Now when they reach CMS, somebody say, wow, Mbola no. Now what was that? I'm not sure right, they have no loot. If they call the Jaguar, I do go the Jaguar. Because once opportunity there, it will affect everyone. So it is our duty right now to curb it, to help them. But one thing we on I don't know, one of the look say that the illiterate, they have knowledge. If you hear the proverbs that these guys drop on the street, the wisdom, the street OT, all that old proverb they do for your banner, and people will say, okay, Latin, area boys, they don't redefine all those things. And please, their use of language does not exactly abuse you. It's just their own way of speaking. First instance, if area boys want to greet, if I see them, hey, bro, what's up? Now they won't be that. When they say, you don't say, yeah. Now greeting, don't be abused. If they want beat you, say, Marco, buy you. You go to me, what is my mama do you? No. Not just conversation. And understanding on the street, as in, is faster than English language. Take for instance, now Englishman won't talk something. Hello, George, are we still going to meet tomorrow at 2 p.m.? You don't talk for too long. Street boys don't take too long to talk. Once they pick up, how far? You don't understand. You don't need to talk long. How far? Just to see how far. What you hear. Then another one for street. Once they just look from afar. Communication. The fastest one. What you hear? They're not the longer. So you need to understand that there is a rapid evolution that you are blind to. And if you don't get into it now, they will carry you go where you don't know where they carry you go. They carry you go. Ladies and gentlemen, we have our first session. We want to discuss a few experiences for just 30 minutes. We're going to share experiences with you and then probably provide solutions, ask questions. Let me invite one of our very notable guests for this session. representing the Kabiyesi Oba of Oniru. Please help me welcome Chief Olumide Idowu. Please, sir. I'm also going to invite another guest, Mr. Oluwole Samson Korede. Let him sit on that chair and I will bring the video here. Mr. Samson, and also the convener, the brain behind this project, Ara herself. Let her sit in the center here. I will be moderating this session and also contributing my quota and experiences. So Ara is going to be here, I'm going to be here. We're going to move this aside for a bit. In the middle. We have other people who are supposed to join us for menace. As we proceed, they're going to join us. Somebody lost this driver's license. Olaniyan Daniel Oluwatobi. If you're the one, approach later and pick it up. So without further ado, I'm going to hand over to Royal Father here to start off. Sir, you could just quickly share with us a few experiences you had in your Lagos life about area boys. Thank you, sir.
Can you hear me? Okay. Good afternoon, everybody. And everybody here present, let me just establish the protocol. The Commissioner for Information Lagos State, welcome. My dear sister Ara, thank you very much for inviting us here, and all other dignitaries present. I would say there was a story I was thinking about actually. I was very inspired by the video, the presentation, the speech Ara made to share with us intimately her own experience of when she was going through a tough time and looking for inspiration and looking for salvation. And I think it's fair to say, actually, there's an area boy in all of us. It just really determines the way you view it. It's whether we change the narrative or whether we don't change the narrative. Everybody views area boy. Just that mention of area boy represents intimidation, represents violence, represents negativity in the community. But you don't look at area boys as hopelessness. You don't look at area boys as homelessness. You don't look at area boys as lack of opportunity. You don't look at area boys as a need of human compassion. I think when we start to think about it in a different way, that area boys has a very different meaning. We realize they're just like any one of us here. Their circumstances is just slightly different, but any of us could end up in that situation. We just pray for God that it never happens to us. But it doesn't mean we can turn a blind eye. You know, my experience in Lagos is, I was actually on my way out one evening with a friend of mine who is actually a UK trained surgeon. He's a urology surgeon, UK trained. And, you know, we were driving along, we were trying to get to a venue. I think we just missed one road, ended up somewhere, surrounded by area boys. And they came to the vehicle. and they spoke in a typical area boy dialect, of which he doesn't understand because he's a British trained surgeon. To my surprise, his response, he stood up and said, man of all. So even somebody of that caliber, you know, can relate at the street level, and it's in all of us, whether we feel intimidated on the streets. You know what I'm talking about, Mr. Okay. So whether I feel intimidated on the streets, everybody has this in them, but most importantly, it's about destitution and hopelessness, and about how young people can be given opportunity to develop themselves, their talent, how everybody can be given opportunity, and we can recognize that actually our young people are the resources of this country. We have far more young people in this country than in any other African country in terms of our demographic bracket. You know, young people of working age groups, we have plenty of them in. So if they're not doing anything, actually we are wasting our GDP. We're not contributing to our GDP. So politically speaking also, it's also very important for us to address these issues, economically speaking, economically growth speaking. And we have many tools, thankfully, for which we can actually start to address some of these issues. So with that, my friend, let me hand over to our sister. Thank you.
Thank you very much. God bless you. Mr. Oluwole, any experiences?
Thank you, Mr. Moderator. Good afternoon, everyone. First, I want to commend the vision of this project. We cannot stop commending because it's someone deliberately going against the tide. Yes, you know, common sense is not speaking, especially where you have zero resources to back on this kind of long journey. At the same time, I want to commend the leadership of the State government, you know, for giving the opportunity to support through various institutions, you know, that would have one or two things to do with this project. My own personal experience started from when I was growing up as a young boy. I grew up in the Shita area of Surulere. For those of us that know Shita very well, you will know the way it is there. I would say out of 10 young boys growing up in Shita there, you'll find 2 or 3 dropping off, meaning that they lose it. And growing up, when I even moved away from, even growing up, each time in secondary school, moving into higher institution, a lot of my friends then, in Shita, Bank, Akerele, that had dropped off, that had lost it, they became street boys. Everywhere or anywhere I met them, I was always open to them. Because I saw myself in them, that would have been me. If I was driving on park, anywhere I saw them, even some of them were, you know, seriously on drugs. A lot of them are dead now. But I was still their brother. Even till now, anytime I saw them. Then the next experience was when I was part of the team that was providing counseling programs for an island towards Eko. It's called Tekule, owned by the Lagos State government. I think it's under the Ministry of Social Development or so. It was for street boys that were called from the streets. They had gone through a series of rehabilitation, taken to that island. After La Campagne Beach Resort, you go drive straight, deep down into another village where you get to a jetty, then go by boat. It was a sort of an Alcatraz, you know, in those days. the fence was electrocuted. They had a series of programs for them, so I was part of the team that was going there every Sunday to provide counseling. Then later on, we heard that the place was caught by fire and the government had to shut it down. Then the next experience I had with them, with Boys on the Street, was inside maximum prison, Kirikiri. I was part of the team that was always going yearly to organize a big concert in the prison. I worked with people like K.G. Hamilton, Feda's former keyboardist. We were running different kind of programs then. Then after that, I'm presently now, I run a counseling and a spiritual, a religious program for street boys in the biggest motor park in Keto Axis. And engaging with them over the years, there's a lot deposited in these people. And all they need is love. That's just it. A lot of them, maybe through one misbehavior or the other, ran away from home. Many of them you find in Lagos now. Predominantly, they are from southwestern parts of Nigeria. Like they say, Awomoloki, for those that understand Yoruba, meaning that states that are, the upper part of Lagos, if you look at the map of southwest Nigeria, Osun, Oyo, and Co. A lot of them, and many of them are artisans. So, what I do presently, apart from the religious angle and counseling angle, there are some of them that are skilled. We are trying to set up a micro scheme now, and a lot of them are drivers. We are trying to set up a micro scheme whereby, even if it's one business we can start, let us grow it organically, save money again, and lift up others like that. So beyond the love, like Ara is trying to do now, we identify them. Okay, once they see that someone is coming, that is up there, that can relate with them, that is the first point of healing to them. That out of maybe 10 or 20 people that are, assumed to be okay in the society, we have 2 or 3 that want to deliberately understand them. They open up their hearts to them. So in short, that is the experience I have with them. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Place your hands together for Mr. Olamuyiwa. Thank you. Before I go to my own experiences, which are numerous and diverse, our convener should please share some experience.
Thank you very much. Good afternoon, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, standing on the existing protocol. My experience with area boys started a long time ago, but the one that gave birth to this project, the Inspire Me Academy by Ara, was one I had about 10 years ago with them, up close. During my interaction with them, the questions I asked them, and of course, I'm a mother. I have a 14-year-old son. Every morning when I drive my boy to school, I see some of these guys around. And I tell my boy, the difference between you and these guys is the fact that you have a loving mother, you have the support of your mother, and you are loved. That's the difference. Of course, you have opportunity, you have the platform to thrive, you're going to one of the best schools. These are the things they lack. And never ever take it for granted. Like I said in my speech 10 years ago, they came at me when my car broke down. But during my interaction with them, I realized that they want more out of life. The family system has basically failed. It is one of the major problems we have in our society today. It's almost non-functional. Mothers are no longer acting as mothers. Fathers are no longer acting as fathers. We are leaving these kids to too much. We're giving them too much to handle on their own. Parents are being irresponsible. Having kids all over the place without being responsible for them. Some of them are orphaned. During my interaction with them, I realized that they feel, one, God has forgotten them. Two, the parents have let them down. Three, society has let them down. Of course, government has let them down. I realized that they want to be somebody. They have dreams. They have aspirations. Just like the one that said he wants to be like Professor Shoyinka. I know if he has the opportunity to go to school, he will probably excel. I was at one of the banks about 6 years ago when I went to pitch this project. One of the bank managers, during my, the pitching, the guy just kept looking at me and nodding and smiling. At the end of my presentation, he said, Ara, I was just looking at you, I was smiling. I said, yes, sir. He said, I was once an area boy. I said, sir? He said, yes. He said, somebody gave me an opportunity to go back to school. I went for my master's in the UK. I worked in the UK. Today I'm back here in this bank, sitting on this chair as a manager. That's why you see me here. And he said, please, I want to be one of the people that will mentor them. I came from the streets. Just like Chief Oniru said, there is an area boy in us. Yoruba will say, if you look at our movies today, everybody is acting one way or the other, like, on social media. There is that element of a street king in you, a street queen, you want to be street. But if you and I don't take this, we all are stakeholders. If you and I do not come together to provide that much needed platform for them, our kids, you and I are no longer safe. We go out at night, we are watching our back in case somebody wants to break our window. Maybe you heard what one of them said in the short documentary. He said, we want you to go out at night and feel safe. He said it. Please help us so we can help you. Let us help each other. So my experience gave birth to this. 10 years down the line, once again I give glory to God. And I thank God that this is happening, and I will not stop thanking Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu. I will not, because without him giving me a go-ahead to do this, we will not be here today. I want to say that experience 10 years ago, rather than creating, well, maybe because it's my calling, I'll put it that way. I hope that all of our experiences, we will merge it or melt it together and come together as stakeholders to take this to the next level. In the next session, I will talk about the plan. I will leave it at the experience for now. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Anna. If I should share my area boy experiences, we will not live here today. Like I said, I grew up in Bariga. So primary 6, my school is just a few meters away, Kurango Primary School, opposite Eko Hotel. So I have to come to school from Bariga every morning. So I'll take Molue from Bariga Ilaje to Idumota. Then I'll trek from Idumota to CMS. So I had experience every day walking amongst wolves. I knew how to meander past places in Lagos Island. I know Lagos 5 years I did like this. Everywhere for Lagos now I know. I don't want Lagos. I go pass where I know, so, okay, this is the time you should not pass here and this here. As young as I was, I knew all the navigation. So years later, if I was passing from Tinubu Square through Mandelas to Balogun, and boys, they trade you one, pick your pocket. And they know the movement. So after I went, I was because I knew all the movement. The experiences I had also in Bariga, a friend of mine is here, he's a photojournalist with City People. We used to play football in CMS Grammar School compound. But down the compound, there's a place those area boys from India used to come and sit down. So they will observe everybody, then they will portray. As I say portray, those who understand and don't understand that. So when they portray, they go mark targets, come reel and in. I was waiting to play my set one day when one of them just came. Wow, leader very here. Meanwhile, money to go to Abule Oja to buy cooking materials, everything was in my pocket. So it was the nylon bag I was holding that made them know that Pololele. So as the guy said, leader very here. 2 plus 2 became 22 in my head. Because the moment you get to that den, Otilo. So I just looked at the guy. Then he said, change voice. Leader. So leader one man. So I'm going on board. Then you can watch Jesus from Master B. So there was a class going on. I just said, let me just drop the nylon with Master here. So they were waiting. That's how I entered classroom with normal students wearing uniform. I just sat down in their class. The class teacher immediately knew, say, what Shelly. He didn't say get out. He just allowed me sit. I was wearing mufti. He just allowed me sit with JSS2 students, full grown man like me. I sat down with JSS2 students. I was doing lecture. So after a while, I just looked. I saw that they had gone to meet leader. Hey, he better pay me. I don't go. Then other experiences was Obalende, 2 experiences, and I'll tell you, there's always a good side to every street urchin. My first bad experience at Obalende, I saw the guy coming close, struggling to enter bus with us, but my upper did not pick. I entered. It was when we got to Sanwo-Olu, I realized that my Sony Ericsson phone had gone. Otilo. Do you know how clarity now dawns on you? You can now picture the person. You could see that. Do you know that I came back to Obalende, took the next bus from Sanwo-Olu, came back to Obalende, started looking around for the guy. You don't go. But years later, last year, yes, sometime last year, I was having car issues, like 2 cars. There was this Corolla I was driving at some point. My Acura was misbehaving. I said, okay, let me try the Corolla. One night, as I was trying to take that break to climb Osborne and go to Ikoyi, around 10 p.m., and you know that zone, except police officers are there doing checking, that place was a dangerous zone. So as I was climbing the bridge, the car stopped. Immediately, 1 or 2 cars that were passing started telling me, guy, just leave the car there, they run, they go, come out there. But something told me, say, come, oh boy, now we did this Lagos, me and these boys, we did together. So before they would come, I was the one who looked over the bridge and called out, Alpha, Aralola Olamuyiwa. You have to understand street language. Now me first reach out, say, how far, Aralola Olamuyiwa. One of them just look up. Oh my God, don't know. I want to Timothy, you man. I said to me, finish. Finish. Put them to work. Don't let them come and walk you. Now the logic to that too. I want 2 or 3 want to. I say, now that guy is the leader. And one thing is always respect their hierarchy too. They like respect. Anytime we go to events, every time they mock me. It got to a point that they had known me. Area boys everywhere they gather. Once they see me at events and they want to mock me, one of them would usually say, Koffi would like you. And they can't content. I said to one, and they can't content. One person will follow me to the car. I will give them. Oh yeah, I'm gonna go break out. So as I said, leader, and a leader. One of them said he was leader. Oh yeah. They were the ones that pushed that car with all the stress uphill, all the way through that market, back into one garage in Obalende, and said I should go home, I shouldn't worry, they will secure the car till tomorrow, I should go home and go and sleep. One of them said she can't tell me. The other one said, "Igbo legbeja komalo." You have to understand the street. Not say because you don't package, you don't reach one level, you don't. No, nobody pass anybody. Because when they happen, everybody is a madman. I'm telling you, like you said, it is inside all of us. But God don't bless some of us. We're going to do like say we will see them again. Let's not make that mistake. As much as possible, we need to go back into the streets. Because they are seeing all our finesse. They are also praying and wishing and hoping for it. If they can't get it, they will kill you to take it. You are a stone's throw. Obalende to Ikoyi, now just one stone. Once they enter, and during any protest, they usually mingle and take over the protest for their own benefits. See what they did to hold up Bode Thomas that period. People now, when police now started going into their houses, saw all that they looted. They were not part of the protest. They went for their own benefits. So it is time for us to do the needful and go to them. We understand your plight. We understand what you're going through. Oh yeah, I know. Speak to them to understand, because it feels painful to look at yourself like you are an animal, a social reject, and people pass you by like you are nothing. So at the end of the day, they are going to mess society up for us. You know, that's the way they say it. Because they also need the basic things that we need. When you see the sores on their body, when you see the fight marks, when you see the disfigured face, the hardship that they go through, then you understand. Funny enough, a lot of these guys that we look at that way, they have families, so some of them have 4 wives, 16 children. That is, they are multiplying a next generation that will torment you, because those kids don't know any better than their fathers know. So please, let us take this as a primary objective to sanitize our society. Thank you all. The first session is over. Please, every post we do about this, let's make it the hashtag Street Kings, Street Queens, because we call them good boys and good girls. Yoruba people say, it is what you call upon yourself that becomes you. So we don't call them area boys and area girls anymore. We call them good boys and good girls, so that gradually it can be ingrained in them to become what they are being called. Thank you all so much. I'd like to thank all my panelists. Thank you so much. If you have any questions, please, you can throw them at us. We're going to try as best as possible to use our small knowledge to answer it. Any questions, please, before we leave? Any questions? Please, sir. Please, can I get a mic for you? Tell us your name and then the question, please.
Thank you very much. It will not exactly be a question, but a poster to thank you. I like the experience sharing that I got from I. So by the way, my name is Asni Fatu. It's a challenge to elite. I'm happy that your experience about 2-3 years ago. Koffi. Yes, boss. And my idea, your experiences are about 5 years ago. My point is that the elite is to jump in. And in jumping in, can I talk about something that has happened in about 50 years ago? 50 years ago, I had a classmate. His name is Anthony Obubowa. We were in Baptist Academy together, and by the way, today I'm the president of the Baptist Academy Rehabilitation. About 6 years ago, I was working in Eko downstream. Anthony Okubowa, after about 50 years, just happens to look at this paper and then he saw my picture. in a property, say, this is happening. By that time, he had become what we call a street boy in Kwara State. He walked all the way from Kwara somewhere and then eventually got to my office in Obo. I asked after me, in fact, I was going to call him out. But the information now then got to me, they said somebody is looking for me and one of these area boys, doing football. And they asked him to go, it was in his beer field. I ran downstairs, I met him, here and there, 15 years, still remember. My point to the elite, they may be our classmates, they may be our neighborhood. This is the time to do exactly what our Lagos State government, my dear friend and brother, Commissioner, that you begin to do. You may think they have forgotten you. This was the guy that gave me, back then, he was a day student, staying where we demolished Bella at Ojuelegba area was. To bring Gary, he was a day student, I was a brother, to bring Gary. He gave me my first sophisticated shirt, and 15 years later, this guy was not working on the street. It's a challenge. Congratulations, Lagos State government and the others. I'd like to say congratulations. I'd like to also say to you, because I know you and I belong to the music group that we call music, that by this, I am making a proposal that by the special grace of God Almighty, I am going to be taking this from under best group. Talking about Idowu, no? And rest assured, we will not only support on account of what I've just told you about my classmate, we will do even much more. God bless you. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much, sir. It's been coming for long. For those of you who don't know the genesis of area boysism, that we now call good boys and good girls, at some point they used to be called Omoraisa. Am I right? Omoraisa. For those of you who don't understand how that came to be, they were the people who would come around and say, all right, sir, all right, sir, all right, sir. And then gradually the language toned down to become Oraisa. It meant all right, sir. All right, sir. But today now it's a different thing. Thank you all so much, my panelists. You may now step down. Please your hands together for them. No more questions. Thank you very much. You may now step down. We're going to go into the next panel, the therapy session very soon. So I don't follow the panel, I be photographer. I don't follow the Abby. You just want snap. You want snap. They're everywhere, Brazil, everywhere, London is now Lagos. London has a Yoruba nation in Lagos. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's been an honor being the coordinator for the first set. We're going to go into the second session, and permit me to immediately invite the panelists and then the moderator for the. We don't want to waste time. Ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome for the therapy session. Because some of the problems that comes with their lifestyle includes drugs, abuse, besides the negative vices that involves inflicting harm to other people, rape, robbery, body damage, attack, and vandalism. Drug abuse is also prevalent amongst them. Please help me welcome from NPLEA, Mrs. Ibiba Odili. Please your hands together for her. from the Rapid Response Squad Unit, ASP Fadeli. Put your hands together for him. And then from Etiquette and Image Consulting, Yvonne AB. Place your hands together for Yvonne AB. Yvonne AB. She's almost here, okay. All right. So when she comes, she's going to sit over there. My new moderator is going to be here. Ladies and gentlemen, at this point, I'm going to leave the stage for the next master of ceremony, or presently for the moderator of this session, hoping that Yvonne is going to join them. Place your hands together for the moderator for this therapy session, co-host the Waker show you love so much on television, Your View on TVC. Dr. BC Ubo is our next moderator. Please your hands together for Dr. BC. Is that Yvonne? Okay, cool. This moderator is too funny. Okay, let's invite Dr. Kunle Badmus to join as well. Please your hands together for Dr. Kunle Badmus.
Excellent afternoon, everyone. Excellent afternoon, everyone. Please give me the excellence back. Excellent afternoon, everyone. Amazing. I always believe that if it can be good, it can be excellent, and I choose excellence every time. I want to thank Ara, the organizer of this event, for this opportunity to have a conversation with stakeholders on how we can begin to help good boys and good girls of Lagos. I want to believe that there are a few female people amongst them. I'm sure you met them, yes. So it's going to be a conversation that will try as much as possible to go into the behavior of these people and find the root causes of what makes them behave the way that they do. There is nothing different from them. There is nothing different between us. There's no difference, basically. We are all the same. The only difference is the opportunities that we have, probably education, the fact that one person comes from a place where there's a semblance of love and the other doesn't have that opportunity to be loved. And when it comes to the core of every human being, there are three things that make you who you are. And every human being has a need to be loved, to be valued, and to have security. Security meaning food, shelter, education sometimes, and all that. If you can give a human being three of these things, you will find that they will flourish. Now, most of these people do not have these opportunities for whatever reason. And society as well has given them a bad name, that we all push them aside and feel that they are nobody. We are here to change the narrative. And I'd like us to give another round of applause to Ara for this amazing initiative. God bless you. This is a legacy that you have started, and I hope that more people will join you to see that this begins to work out. So, ladies and gentlemen, Oga, smile now. We are here to have a conversation. So I don't know if the mics are working, so try. Yes. Okay. So, I would start with the gentleman on my right. How are you doing today, sir? Fine. Now, with your department, RRS, I'm sure that you meet these good boys and good girls of Lagos all the time. Always. Now, what are some of the interactions you have with them? Because there's this lack of trust. I will pass the mic to him. There's this lack of trust that I see around them when they see people like you. There's this distrust. How are you able to approach them to understand that you are here to help them? And are you really there to help them if you have interactions with them?
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I want each of us to know that police is your friend. We enforce the law. We enforce the law. So, as a law enforcement agent, we are different to the society. And each time, all these street and street boys, we approach them. Manner of approach is most important. The way and manner you approach them. When you approach them, we engage them by counseling, orientation. For example, some months ago, back, the CSP led the campaign of drug abuse at Agege. And we can know which one of us has the knowledge. Now, what we normally do when we engage them, we cancel them. Don't do this. If you do this, the law will go against you. If you are law abiding, the law will never go against you. That's the way we always engage them. But at times, when some of them are violent, so we know politics to use and code. Like Mauga, CSP, where most of all these street there and street boy, he engaged them from one walk to another. So that is why most of them are out of the street. And if I'm telling you, automatically calculate and ask. If each of us in society can do so, automatically all these street there and street boy, automatically there will be.
That's amazing. So, from what you have said now, when you meet them, you engage them. But how do they receive you when they see you? Because with your uniform, the first thing should be to take flight.
No, we assess the situation. When we assess the situation, it's from there we not. When we call them, we talk. Which one that take us out is criminal mind, and take it to the office. That's the time we not engage them and cancel them. Why do you do this violence? Automatically, respond of him will determine how to do that.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you. I think we can give him a round of applause for that. We'll have more questions thrown at him. So, NDLEA, the NDLEA has been on the news for, like, I take the newspapers every day and I see all the amazing things you have been doing. Now, the beauty for me is the fact that you are not just picking the small boys on the streets. You are going after the kingpins and the drug barons because that is where it starts from. Why did you decide to fight from that level? And what help so far has NDLEA given to those street urchins that you find with small drugs?
Good afternoon. Good afternoon, distinguished participants at this laudable event. I want to align with the established protocol and thank you. I'm very delighted to be with you today. Before I go into answering the moderator's questions, I want to first of all share with us some results of a national drug use survey that was conducted by the federal government of Nigeria and the United Nations Office on Drug and Crime, which was published in 2018. It is the current reality of our drug situation problem as at 2018, and you'll agree with me that a lot has gone worse from 2018 till now. One of the results of the survey states that 14.3 million people, representing 14.4%, had the age between 15 to 64 had used at least one psychoactive substance, excluding tobacco and alcohol, in the preceding year of that survey. That survey was done to examine the extent and pattern of drug use in Nigeria. One of the results of the survey also states that 1 out of every 4 drug users is a female. I'm sure this is alarming, because if women who naturally are expected to be caregivers, role models, life builders in our homes and communities are increasingly now involved in drug problems, that would show the quality of children we're going to be having in Nigeria. The result also says that 1 out of every 5 high-risk drug users injects drugs. And if drugs are being injected, it's a concern for public health, because it means that diseases like blood-borne diseases like HIV, hepatitis C, and tuberculosis will be on the increase, and this is a potential problem for public health. The survey also states that there is a gap, that is, we don't have adequate infrastructure for treatment in Nigeria. But most alarming is the fact that result of, and another result of the survey tells us that 20% of that 14.3 million has already started manifesting substance use disorders, which means that they are already having problems with using drugs. That result that we had in 2018 is very disturbing, because that data showed us that Nigeria's prevalence of 14.4% is about 3 times higher than the global prevalence then in 2018, which was just 5.6. Which means that Nigeria's drug problem is 3 times higher than the global drug problem. So that is the problem. And another result from that survey showed that drugs of abuse are not just cannabis, cocaine, and heroin that we're used to, but that people are now abusing household items. Drugs we now call new psychoactive substances. They are not controlled, but they have the same harm potentials like the controlled drugs. You'll be surprised to know that substances like nail polish, glue, petrol, methylated spirits are all abused now and will give the same effects like cocaine, heroin, and the others. So that is our current reality. Although this survey did not disaggregate to say these are the number of street boys or girls who are using drugs, but it presupposes that they are subsumed into this number that we have. So the reasons, the drug problem and street urchins, or like we say, the good boys and the good girls, research has shown that there is a correlation between the two. Because most times when these children leave home, some of them actually live clean. They are not on drugs when they leave. But when they get to the streets, the harshness, the brotherhood, the solidarity they need to evolve in to be able to survive on the streets will welcome them with drugs. Then those that already left from home with drugs get to the streets and get to advance on the kind of drugs. Maybe you started using cannabis at home. By the time you get to the streets, you learn about meds, you learn about crack cocaine, you even learn about injecting. These are some of the things they also add to the drug problem they brought from their homes. So the truth is that if we address the drug problem, the problem of street children will dramatically reduce. They both go hand in hand. And you asked about what we do with people at that level. Like, most of us know NTLA just with the enforcement angle. But NTLA is statutorily empowered to do not just law enforcement, which is arrest and seizure, which have been seen a lot of the media these days. But we also have a very strong directorate that handles drug demand reduction strategies, which means we deal with prevention for those who have not started. Because research has also shown that it's a struggle to stop to take drugs, because medically it has been classified as a chronic brain disorder because it affects and damages the brain. Most times, even when people stop taking drugs, the brain never gets improved and repaired till they pass away from the earth. So it is a chronic problem which most times we only manage. So because of that, research is telling us that let us do more of prevention so that the large number that have not started will not start. Because when they start, it becomes very cumbersome to get them out of it. So that is one leg. You talk of prevention. It's under prevention. You talk of strengthening families, because we've talked a lot here about parenting, and the truth is that most of these problems actually start from the home. Parents and families are becoming very dysfunctional. So we have strategies, we have interventions which we use to strengthen families, we teach them communication skills. Because some of them don't even know how to communicate with the children. And you'll agree with me that we cannot raise the children of today the way we were raised. A lot of things have changed. So we have to learn how to create this balance. We teach them about assertive skills. We teach them when to initiate discipline. So these are some of the components of the strengthening family interventions that we conduct for families. Under prevention. We also train school teachers. Because whether we like it or not, the school has a role to play. A lot of these good boys and girls actually got to the streets because of certain problems in school, not even at home. When you have schools where underfloor or under the tree, you're supposed to be learning, the school environment is not conducive. Most of the teachers we have these days, the good number of them, they didn't go there because of passion. They went there because they needed to work. So that training, that experience, that passion is not there. So the way they relate to some of these children actually drive them out to the streets. So we also teach teachers and counselors how to identify. And when they get to know, because there are some schools now, maybe you discover a child, you find a wrap of cannabis in his bag, and you expect him. You have not helped him, you have only driven him back to the streets. You don't do that. So these are some of the trainings we give to the school to know how to identify and help these children when we discover things like that. We also work with the communities, because like those days when we were growing up in Lagos, we had recreational centers where we go to. Sporting activities was very high. A lot of young people were putting positive energy into sporting activities, entertainment and the like. But today all they have are drugs and the internet. So what do? So we need to also work with the traditional institutions, because they have an influence in their communities. So these are some of the strategies and interventions we have in place for prevention. Then we also have intervention for treatment, because like when they start using, you don't have any choice. Then prevention will not really work, but it will work so that you also help them not to go back to it. So we have treatment interventions, then we have aftercare, then we have rehabilitation and reintegration back into the society. So these are the interventions NLA has at that level. So we work together because there has to be a balance between the supply and the demand. If the demand is not there, supply will not sell. If demand is there, then supply will thrive. So we work based on the two balanced approaches. That is what we do. Thank you.
A round of applause, man. You seem to have a lot of things. And I'm sitting down and I'm wondering, NDLA has all of this. What is the level of impact you will see? Because you started your analysis in 2018 to what we have now. Have you impacted more lives, especially when it comes to the street urchins, compared to the time of 2018?
Thank you. Like they've done a recent survey. The survey we have, the last survey is in 2018. But talking of street urchins, NDLA has also realized in its strategies that there is a gap. The gap is this. You know, you asked my colleague, the ASP, about when those people see you in uniform and all of that. So NDLA has realized there's a gap. Because the truth is that you cannot say they are criminals at the end of, and at the same time you say you are opening your hand for help. So what we do is we work more with NGOs. We now work more with community-based organizations. That is why we're here to partner with ARA. Because there are places NGOs will get to. We cannot enter there with our uniforms. And NGOs work more closely with them in communities. They trust them. They open up to them. They are friends. So what we do now is we have a national drug control master plan that has as stakeholders CSOs and NGOs. So when they go out there to work with these street urchins, like we call them good boys and good girls, they now come back with data for us to now improve and modify our interventions to include them. And right now we have a network for drug users that we work with. We also have a call-free toll number, phone call, that you can call if you are afraid that maybe if you come you're going to be arrested or that. So there's a phone number you can call and you state what you want and we provide that intervention for you. So we've taken all of these gaps into consideration.
That's amazing. Another round of applause for her. Okay, so I'm going to the gentleman on my far right, and I'm going to be asking you a question as a stakeholder, as a member of the society. And what have you observed so far? I don't know the area you live, but you could give us a bit of that in your analysis, with the street urchins around you, and how do you think we as individuals can begin to take responsibility to give them a helping hand, just like ARA is doing in our own individual spaces?
Excellent afternoon to you all. My name is Dr. Ambassador Adekunle Badmus. I'm a United Nations Ambassador for Quality or Affordable Education in Africa, and I'm equally the CEO of Goodness Learning Center. When I heard about this event, I had a couple of things. I just flew in from Ilorin this morning because it's something I would love to be part of. I remember when I was growing up and my father told me that to go to school is money and he does not have it. So I need to work and eat. So in the space of my life, I've been working and going to school, and I remember discussing with Ara last week, telling her that, do you know that I sold engine oil at Pambroke bus stop for 8 years? You understand? And you know, some people, if they see me now, they will be wondering, wow, can good things come out from this person? Because I will go to Lagos Island. I will go to Lagos Island. I will go and buy engine oil. I'll put it on my head, put it on the downfall, bring it to Pambroke, sell it, and I will sell till midnight. And you know, sometimes you are there with the boys and the areas. I think that we should all accept what we have gotten, because when you see things, when you have a situation at hand and you refuse to accept the situation that you have, then you create more problems. If you accept the situation, then you now look at how to tackle it. Number one, we must all recognize that we are all stakeholders, not just few people that were posted on the picture that are stakeholders. It is our responsibility to actually make our environment an habitable place for all of us. So all of us must ensure that if any government parastatal will work, and if we're going to have a great nation, if we're going to have a great environment, all of us must fall for acceptance. Then when we accept it, then we now look at how do we work with them, how do we inspire them, how do we touch their lives. I remember Pastor Gobo of blessed memory, she's late now, was someone that actually inspired me and said, you know, come to church, and you know, gradually on the street you have so many options. You have options to become an armed robber, you have options to become a yahoo, you have options to become a ritualist, you have options to become you know, a boxer, you know, a cultist. You have so many options. But I thank God that I choose to become a Christian there, because I came from a Muslim home. So, and that was what actually helped. You know, the morals, the teachings of God's word actually, helps me in my growth, and I just decided to say, okay, let me go this route, and that was how I left some other boys on the street. And in relating with all of these things, I think we all have our own part to play in this. Having been in the education industry, I believe we need to create something to be able to engage the people. Presently, I'm advocating that we all wake the sleeping giant of government bilateral agreement. And the reason for this is that we have embassies in our country, and when the embassies was established, government, the number one person in that country and the number one person in our country actually signed this bilateral agreement. And it's for the betterment of all of us. It's for all of us to actually benefit from it. And it could help all industries. It could help all industries. And we are telling little or nothing about it. How do I know this? I know this in the last 5 years when I started telling government bilateral agreement between the Turkish government and Nigerian government. And so far so good, we've been able to help a lot of people, we've been able to engage a lot of people meaningfully, and we've been able to pick people that are hopeless, we're giving them hope, and they are doing well in their respective fields. So, having said that, is that we need to accept our current situation, and we all need to pour positive vibes in our community. I want to end with this, that the situation we have found ourselves is like trying to sell in the market of 100, and you have 100 oranges, and there is a bad one that if you leave it among the bad oranges, it will affect the others. If you remove it, you won't be able to sell in the market of 100. And it goes to all of us to ask ourselves question, what do I do? If you can answer that, you see that what we all need to do is to, first of all, separate and have 99 good ones and start looking for one good oranges. And who will provide that one good orange? It is our responsibility to actually provide the one good orange. The good you do in your community, the positive vibes you add in your community will actually make us to sell in the market of 100. Thank you.
Thank you very much. A round of applause for him. Thank you. So let me come to Auntie Yvonne. She's a life coach like myself, and I want to ask you this question because of your purview. You meet people on a daily basis, you have conversations on a daily basis. And we understand that at the core of human behavior is the need to find happiness. Even if you meet an armed robber today and ask him, why are you doing what you are doing? Because I want money. Why do you want money? You dig down. Because I want to be comfortable. Why do you want to be comfortable? You dig down. Because I want to be happy. At the end of every human behavior is that search for happiness. Same thing when you talk to a drug addict. Why do you take drugs? Because I want to feel high. Why do you need to feel high? Because I want to feel happy. I want to be happy. Now, how do you think we can begin to dig deep into their need for love and happiness that they desire, and how can we swap that behavior for them? So give us your expertise on this.
Thank you very much. Are you happy today? Everyone, be happy. Put your hands together for yourselves. And thank you for being part of this.